Uh-oh. You hear that? That's the tea hitting the pavement. Over here on Word on the Curb, we don't sip, we spill. Word on the Curb, where the tea hits the pavement. Let's get into it. It's Angela, your favorite internet bestie, and we got the vibe. We rocking the housewives, politics, and celebrity gossip, all wrapped into one show. Hello, everyone. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Word on the Curb, where the tea hits the pavement. And tonight we're talking about the most hated, Shamea, Shamesi, whatever. Yes, we're going to talk about Shamea. And we're talking about the thing we're going to talk about is the interview that Carlos King did with Shamea. And there's some things I took notice of in this interview. But I was in them comments like, God dang. So we're talking about Shamea, and I'm going to ask one simple question. Why does it seem like everyone hates Shamea? I'm like, everybody hates Shamea. So before we get started, let me know, are you Team Porsha or Team Shamea? Shamesi? Are we Team Porsha or Team Shamina? Let me know your thoughts, because I was really trying to figure out, I'm Team Nobody. I'm Team Dr. Heavenly. I like Married Medicine. I like messy-ass Dr. Heavenly. But I was really trying to figure out when I was watching the interview yesterday when it premiered and reading them comments, and them comments was treacherous. I mean, it was so much vitriol against Shamea. Well, I was like, damn, what'd she do? Did she fuck Charles? Did she fuck Dennis? Did she fuck Sway? I'm like, what the hell did Shamea do? To me, she's done no more than any other housewife. That's what I saw. I mean, she took back some shit wrong. She said that Phaedra was the one that said that Pinky eats meat when it was really Kelly. But Phaedra did call her. So, she had all messed up. She took back, what else did she take back this year? I don't know. But it just seems a little really double standardish. And we're going to get into all of the things. But we're going to start off talking about this interview. And I do like the fact that, Carlos King is interviewing all the girls. And I'm the kind of person, I'm nosy as fuck. So I'm here for an interview because I like to know about people's life. I was the one who always watched Behind the Music or a documentary about anybody's life. That's me. So, I enjoy getting to know the women. Like when I watched the Porsha interview, I had no idea she had some daycares. That's what I do. I knew her mom did, but I didn't know that's what Porsha did. We find out Shamea has a degree in, I think it's psychology. I think it is. One of them. But anyways, and she used to go date a guy who played for the Kansas City Chiefs. We find out that. But we even find out that her and Porsha was not besties when they were children. So, their moms were friends, but they weren't just besties. It's kind of, like my mom, her friends, kids, we weren't besties. We were like cousins, When we were around, hey, that's like the cousin, but not my bestie. So they didn't become really good friends until they were adults. And when Porsha was going through the divorce with Cordell. So let's start off here. So the thing that stood out most to me, like I said, was the comments out of the whole damn thing. I was reading the comments. Mims from Make It Make Sense was in them comments like damn near windmilling, like where all this hate come from? You know, because I mean they was running her ass down in them damn comments. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was that bad. I have a group on Facebook. It's the Married to Medicine group over there. And, you know, we always talking shit over there. I got some that's very spirited and, you know, they love Porsha, hate Shamea, you know. But when I was looking at the comment section yesterday, I would say about 80% of the comments, at least a good 70%. I was like, damn, Shamea. And you know, I'm just trying to watch it. I guess when I'm watching the interview, I always like, okay, out of all the housewives that the shows I watched, the person who I disliked the most was Kenya. I couldn't stand her on the show. I didn't like the, you know, her antics. You know, there's always one you have to love to hate. And, you know, Kenya was different. But if I'm watching the interview and I'm getting to know Kenya, I'm not in there typing like, bitch, I hate you, bitch. Or, you know, stuff like that. Or it just was, I was just shocked. Really, I was. So do I think she came across as vulnerable? She, you know, she was about to cry. And she did say the day before she was crying about, she couldn't really discuss because it must got something to do with the show, but things that was in the comments that was bothering her. You better do like your bestie said, not what your bestie, but what Candy said. Turn the comments off. Stay out of the damn comments. That's what you're going to have to do. But she also stated in there, like, you know, what she took accountability for. She says the thing she regret or taking accountability is that she should have never went on that dinner date with Angela and Drew last season. That she wish she didn't do, you know, wish she wouldn't have done, or either recorded it or had someone else there that could verify, you know, what really had happened. And so did I feel like she got to get her story across? Yeah. And if you watched the interview, let me know if the interview changed your opinion of Shamea. Well, see how motherfuckers gonna be like, hell no. Nah. Now that's in the cross. You know, I don't know. But the interview, you know, Carlos caught her up on a little bit. You know, the whole season 9 of it all. So I will ask you guys, do you think the questions that Carlos King had, do you think they were easy questions or were they hard? I think a lot of them was softball, but usually what he does is kind of let the people talk. He really don't challenge, but he did kind of, you know, hey, now wait a minute. So in this, we're going to talk about the fallout of the relationship, which she says she still grieves the loss of relationship with Porsha. She says she even finds herself to this day, you know, in rooms that she's not in defending Porsha, not because Porsha told her to, and not because she wants to be Porsha's friend. It's just, you know, I guess she's what they call that. She's just hardwired that way, I guess. So they used to be close. She said, you know, they met each other about when they're like in middle school, and they did not really become close friends until Porsha was going through her divorce. She was at, you know, like Porsha's bridal shower and all that stuff. And, you know, because their mothers were friends. She discussed the fact that She was disappointed when Miss Diane said, "Be careful of the one who brings you the bone." I thought that was kind of low down that Miss Diane said. I'm like, they friends, you know. I don't know, you know. But she said that was hurtful. She, she loved Porsha, and she thought that why would Miss Diane say that? Basically, oh, this is how they really feel about me. Carlos King asks, could there, basically, will they reunite? Would Porsha and her find their way back? And how, basically, how can it happen? Or do you want it to happen? She said she's fine how things are right now. So, so let's go back to season 9. Season 9 is the the season that was Miss Phaedra's last season until season 17. Excuse me. So that's the season where Phaedra has said that Shamea was fucking both Candy and and Todd. And Porsha said, well, they are close. Well, the back and forth that Carlos King had with Shamea, he asked her, did Candy let you know about this in advance? And Shamea's like, no, I don't remember. No, basically. And basically she saw it in a clip or something on social media, then she watched it. And she was shocked that Porsha was speaking about her that way. And that Porsha excuse, because they had to talk about it. Porsha excuse was she didn't know it was going to be filmed. So she's like, oh, so you talking about me, like that behind my back? I'm the topic of conversation. So Carlos King brought up a scene in the same season where Candy had said something about Porsha, and Shamea was there when she had invited all the the girls over or whatever, and how Shamea didn't say anything. And he said, Carlos, the girls, the girls take that as, you wouldn't be a good friend at that time either. And she was like, well, Porsha had already said what she said, but he's like, you wouldn't know that because it's being filmed, right? It's being filmed, so it hadn't aired yet. So you wouldn't know that. And, it was kind of like a back and forth, but he caught her up in a lie. Because clearly, Candy had to let her know some of the things that was going on. Somebody did for her to feel away. Or maybe, that's kind of how they do. So she also talked about that, was that season 9? Hell, hold on, wait a minute. Whatever season that was it was Phaedra last season. And then the next season, okay, I think season 10 is when she was actually having her bridal shower. Porsha kind of made up every excuse why she couldn't go over there to Africa. But she did go to the wedding here in the United States. And, she said at the bridal shower, her and Porsha had a falling out. And she said it was filmed. All I will say is, had I been Shamea, me and Porsha would have been through. Because once you sat there and let this bitch say this shit I don't care. Because you had to know it was being filmed. Because you don't hang out with Sheree and all that shit. The damn camera crew was there. Maybe didn't think it was going to make it. But it would have been better off if you didn't say nothing, but you said they are close. While Phaedra over here fucking lying. And so, Carlos King had asked her point blank, did you ever sleep with Candy? Or have you ever been in a woman? He said in the basically, in the words of Marlo, are you a lesbian? She said no, but she's kissed the girl before. And she said if she had kissed, also, the falling out of this season basically had happened because what was the things that happened in the reunion. And she said that, her and Porsha had back and forth about when Porsha said, I kiss Candy in the club, you kiss Candy in the club. And evidently, Gerald didn't like that. And I guess there was some things that were stated about her marriage, whatever. But Porsha said you did say that. So, here. Was everybody drunk? Was everybody kissing everybody in the club? But she told, she said that Carlos could ask Toya, the baby mama of Lil Wayne. Oh, who else was in the club too? Somebody else that was there. And or Candy. He's not gonna ask Candy because Candy is pissed at him about trying to get the rights to an escape documentary movie or whatever without including her. So, she was like, no, I've never kissed Candy. And basically, and she said if she was about to get married, that could have really screwed things up for her. I'm like, that would have, we would have been done, honey. I ain't lying. You couldn't have played me that kind of way and think that it's okay to do it. No, we're not playing them kind of games. I'm about to be married. I always kind of felt like, because he even asked her point blank, do you think Porsha is jealous of you? And she said, no, I would never say that. Or did she want to be Porsha? Was she jealous of Porsha lifestyle? She said she's happy with her life. I would be too, honey. I would be living the softest life. Honey, in the softest place on earth. Let me see how this goes. Yeah, I would. So, I don't know, Shamea. You got all the things that most girls want. And, in the interview, he did get a chance to talk with Gerald too. So, it was a good interview. We find out, a lot of things is kind of, like the things have been said, like this past episode where K. Michelle brings up about the candy coated clique. And, Shamea mama being in the club. And Shamea showed receipts to Carlos King. And I even remember, because I was like, oh, her and Candy do hang out. Because Candy had put up, this is for Mama Joyce's birthday. And on her Instagram account, they went to go and see Charlie Wilson. And you can see Shamea and her mother there. So that was the same day as the, what's the guy name? Lifestyle. Rich Homie Quan Day, where Drew sung the Star Spangled Banner. So that later on that evening, Shamea said her intentions was not to, let's back it up. When they were at the sit down or the little dinner thing where it was Drew, Shamea, and K. Michelle, Shamea said, Drew's and K. Michelle issue is not mine, and she thought that they were going to move forward. But what she also said was that that night is the night that of Mama Joyce's birthday, and they were going to the concert. The moms were, and Candy and Shamea. So K. Michelle comes down here on this episode and tells Pinky that Shamea mama was in the club praying for her. She had her titties all the way up to her chest and all this other shit. And Shamea's like, that's not true. And they was out to 2:00 in the morning. And she got the timestamps on the dang old pictures that she's collecting her evidence for her receipts for this reunion. That is what she's doing. I said, Shamea gonna be ready this time. I don't know what kind of reunion we're gonna get, but it's gonna be fiery. But Shamea gonna be ready. So she was letting it be known that no, when K. Michelle wanted to go where Shamea was going, and she said, I'm going with Candy. And K. Michelle wanted to go, and she was like, you know how that is, And I understand if I got a friend over here, because really you my work friend. But my real friends are over here. And my real friends don't like you. It's not what she said. But she said, you know how that is. I'm not even going to say Candy don't like you. But my other, Candy's real best friend don't like you. So we're not about to have that situation where all of us are together. We're work buddies, and I'm getting to know you, and this is where you're going to be. Now, we can hook up after the fact. So they went to the club. And so they even see that, what's his name, Nosh there at the club. But she was just letting it be known, though. I didn't tell K. Michelle that my friends don't want me to be friends with you. It's not what she was saying. She was saying that, I want to get to know you. So do y'all believe that? Or, because they kept saying that K. Michelle is, got the voices in her head. So, I mean, I never really been in a situation where, because that of my friends and myself are hanging out. So, this is kind of, a made up thing, because in real life, are you really hanging out with the girls that don't like your friends? Not one friend, but a couple of your friends. So I don't know. I really don't know. People say, oh, that's so middle schoolish, but my friends are the same friends I had since middle school. So I don't know. So that's one thing. So then let's talk about, Carlos was saying he was, concerned for her. He said, because, a lot of people just don't like you. And then we talk about, how people don't like her. And she was saying that it was a double standard. And I do believe it's a double standard for her because other people can do the same thing and nothing is being said. Because according to what we saw, Drew is lying when she said Shamea wanted to talk about Porsha or brought up Porsha and how Shamea got up and left at the table. She got up and left because you called her a lap dog for K. Michelle now. So it just seems like, the girls don't like Shamea because Shamea and Porsha are beefy. So, they said she's stirring the pot and keeping all the shit going. She also told Carlos, she didn't know who actually told K. Michelle that there was a plot in the scheme, and K. Michelle never told them who it was. So she's waiting to find that out at the reunion. But everybody thinks she's stirring the pot over there. But the person over there stirring the pot for real is fucking Angela. I can't help it. That's, she the one to me is two-faced that she's up in Porsha's face, but in the confessionals calling Porsha a fucking hoe. Yes, she is. And she would sleep with your man. That's what Angela is doing. So, and y'all going up for it. I don't understand why, but y'all going up for it. But Shamea, in this interview, she says, because Carlos King said, do you think it's colorism? And she kind of jumped all on that. I don't think it's colorism, he's talking about colorism with the fan base. I don't know if it's that, because I think she could be high yellow, and because Porsha's the fan favorite, she was going to have an issue anyways, is what I think. But she goes on to talk about, colorism she experienced in life. And I can relate. I really can, I don't know what you might think of me now, but I was the hot chick when I was young. I'm 53 now, but I was a cute girl. So I get it when people say, oh, you're pretty to be dark. Because I got that. I got it from mostly, from older people. That's a pretty black girl. Or I've gotten it from other girls. They say, oh, you're a pretty dark-skinned girl. I never forget, I got that when I was in the military. So I know that happens. I've gotten that, that's kind of, oh, your hair long to be dark. Oh, all that kind of stuff. Or one girl even told me when I was in military, you're the first pretty dark-skinned girl I ever saw. Because she's from North Carolina. She said, because most dark-skinned girls I know are ugly and bald-headed. I said, but not the ones from Indiana, baby. So I understand that. And she talked about how, being a cheerleader or whatever. And some people say, you're a cheerleader, ain't you too dark for that? And I was thinking, like, they said that in Atlanta? Because when I went to Atlanta to my cousin's party, she had a party when she turned 50. It was awesome. I swear to goodness, when I was in Atlanta, in the area I was at the hotel, we hardly seen anybody white. And at the party, I only seen one light-skinned person there. Everybody else was dark in that mug. And it was packed. I'm like, where are these? I mean, because I'm from Indiana. And the party in Indiana I'm from, there's a lot of mixed people here. I went to school with a lot of mixed kids. I was always the darkest one in the class. One of the darkest kids, and like my mom, she teaches now, and she was like, I don't see very many dark-skinned kids anymore. She's mostly everybody is pretty much, brown. I did a paper on the browning of America. She's like, because most of the little kids I encounter are brown looking or, some kind of mixed look or something. She said, but this here is like a dying breed. So I understand what Shamea was saying in that regard. But far as the colorism when it comes to fans, I'm not very sure that, because she's dark, that the fans are really going at her. I think they just don't like her because she and Porsha are not friends. And people are team Porsha. That's what I really feel. I didn't know Porsha fan base was so big. I didn't know. Maybe I'm just oblivious to that because I'm not team nobody. I just like watching the messy shit. But I just couldn't believe that the comments were all the way left in Carlos King's comment section. I'm like, girl. I guess I just thought it was in my group, but my Facebook group is Married with the number 2 Medicine on Facebook. There's like 41,000 people in there. Not everybody, most people are kind of in the bushes, but you got some that's, very vocal in the group, They're very vocal and honey, they over there talking shit. And I always tell people, hey, if you don't like what somebody posts, just scroll on by. You ain't got to comment, scroll by. It's no sense of getting it because this is supposed to be for entertainment. We ain't down here windmilling for people we don't fucking know. We don't know nothing about these bitches on this show. No. All I know is I like watching it for entertainment. So I don't think that, I didn't even think about colorism when it came to Potomac, but me and my sparring partner, my other co-host, we had difference in that. I said, because she was talking about colorism, and I was like, but in my real life, I can't really say that colorism really played a part in like my day-to-day life, where I felt like I didn't get something because somebody light did. I didn't feel that way, but I did probably feel the way that I kind of got skipped over something for somebody white. As well, I never felt inferior to a light-skinned person. That's just never been my life. That was not me. So it just wasn't it. So I get it that colorism do exist, because I met some girls when I was in the military. And one girl, she was from Chicago, and I'll never forget, because she was talking about the song Vibe was out, and I'm telling my age. And she was, a kind of light-skinned girl, kind of bald-headed. I mean, you know how people kind of hair is, she needed to get it trimmed. It looked really bad. But she thought she was cute because she was light-skinned. And you know what Cardi B said? I hate a bitch to think they're cute because they're light-skinned. And like at the time, I was staying in the barracks, and it was only it was probably 5 girls in the barracks, right? 5 females, the rest all men. So I thought she must have thought I would say this: you can't compete where you don't compare, and we just did not compare. And I remember a guy telling me that she said something about my complexion, and honey, and what? And what? And she didn't like the fact that, I was the girl at the barracks, because that most of the men, they were real friendly too. I kind of was like everybody's little sister until it was time to go out and they be talking, oh, Cooper, ooh, nah, don't do that now. But it was just weird for me. I saw this bitch really think she cute because she like, I just couldn't even know, because she was not. She was not. So I can understand where Shamea probably might have felt those situations in life. But far as this show is concerned, I really just don't see the colorism piece where people are coming at her because she's dark. Because this is not a cast with high yellow people. I think what Kelly did about the lightest one on there. And the rest of everybody's brown and Shamea's dark. So I don't get that one, But so I will say the double standard does exist, because people are twisting themselves in a damn pretzel trying to excuse the shit that Angela says, but Shamea is being crucified for calling Angela fucking Bigfoot. I just thought, what the fuck? Really? We this sensitive now? Angela didn't compare Shamea to a whole fucking man last season. Angela has compared Pinky to Papa Smurf and Mr. Clean. Neither one are female characters. But folks are saying that Shamea is basically being transphobic, because she called her Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I don't get that fake outrage at all. And she also made a statement about, people saying she go for low-hanging fruit. I just thought Sasquatch and Bigfoot wasn't no good read. I thought, it was kind of corny, but she said she'd rather do light shade than try to actually come for someone where it goes too dark, basically. And she also had said that because of what Angela has said, that there's kind of an investigation with her work into the accusation of her messing around with players. She said that, why would I mess with the player when my husband could be the owner of the team? That's a flex your shit, girl. All I will say is Shamea, it does come off cringy. She knows she comes off cringy. She said it too. She said, people say I'm cringy. I do too much. She's, but I'm me. She's, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. She's, may not be your person, but for the people who like me, they like me. I think Shamea is a people pleaser. I think she would be a fun person to probably go out and have fun with, because she's going to try to make sure you're comfortable. I think that's why she does the hosting gigs, because she seems to be a nice person, or that's the face that she puts on. And she's having a hard time with being the most hated on this show. Girl, step into your villain era. I would just turn it all the way up. Do a Kenya, honey. Let it fall where it fall. Because, I would say this. People want Shamea off the show. They want Kelly off the show. They want Pinky off the show. But if them people wasn't on the show, we wouldn't have shit to talk about. So, I just said, the double standard is really a double standard for Shamea. I said, because it would be different if Shamea was the one who said, I'll fuck her husband and she keep talking shit or keep messing with me. It would be different if Shamea had committed crimes or, anything like that, or said something about someone or fought someone. But somebody said, I'll fuck your husband. And now that bitch that she was talking about is over here being a lapdog for Porsha, I feel like. Because you could never make a statement and I hear your ass say, you would fuck my husband. And we ain't even playing that way. No. And we can tell that Angela has not gotten over it because she talks about it in the confessional. So I hope at the reunion, they ask about that. I'm hoping so. So you let me know. Do you believe colorism played a role in how housewives are received by fans? I don't know. I don't know at all. But honey, I've been in those comments today, and they be like Shamea ass. I mean, with a lot of vitriol. I'm like, people get out and touch grass. This is supposed to be entertainment. I'm all here for messiness, shamessy. I'm here for the messiness, but I think when it gets to be, with such vitriol, I'm like, well, what this girl actually did this season? That's what I had posed the question. What did she do? Did I miss something? So, Carlos King, his comment section was lit. I just thought, oh, these folks don't like her. And I guess I just didn't realize it. And the only reason I can just basically understand why they don't like her is because we got the A team and the B team. And it's Porsha versus Shamea. That's what it is. Even though those two haven't said nothing to each other, but that's what it is. So, and I think production is probably making the ladies bring up Shamea and Porsha to each other. I believe that because everybody want to know what the fuck happened, And so she also talks about where Porsha really didn't want her on the show when she first tested out for it. Oh, thought about it when they offered. And then when she did test it out, she tested for the show in 2010. And she just decided, just to remain, the sidekick. Now, I ain't going to say 2010. I mean, on season 10. I'm sorry. Season 10. So do we think Shamea is misunderstood? Because she said that she thinks she's misunderstood. Or do we think she's getting bad at it? I don't think she's getting bad at it. Because this season, she's not really saying shit. I think everything is like circumstantial. Or is she paying the price for falling out with Porsha? And that's what I believe. And this fake outrage about all the shit that Shamea is saying when half of these bitches is messy as hell. Phaedra over there to call Porsha, if you got the money, get the puss. Basically call her a hoe too. I mean, the confessionals are funny to me. Phaedra has talked about everybody. So, she didn't talk about titties hanging, swinging low, like a low, swing low, sweet chariot when it comes to Kelly. They have body shamed the fuck out of Kelly ass. They done called her a troll, a garden gnome, all that shit. But it's an issue because Cynthia got caught with a strike because she must feel away about her big ass feet too. You're going to have big ass feet when your ass is tall. Now, if you my height with a size 11, then yeah, okay, you got some big damn feet. But if you're damn near 6 feet, yeah, my little sister, she's damn near 6 feet. She wears about a size 12. She would look funny as fuck with little feet. So, so you know, Cynthia's still out here on different podcasts to talk about that shit. So she, you know, she the hit dog in that shit, you know. So I want to know what y'all think. Is Shamea most unfairly criticized? She's most, you know, by the audience, or is the audience holding her accountable? I would say, you know, it could be both, but I see there's a lot of hate for her. They got a lot of smoke for Shamea. So Shamea, girl, step into your villain era. Step into it, honey. I know you want to be the nice girl. You want to be the girl that's loved, but hey, we are talking about your ass in every recap. We're talking about Shamea. And Shamea ain't really doing shit. We talking about her though. So step into the villain era. Be the villain. That's what I would be. I would double down on the shit. Just learn how, you know, get around some people so you learn how to read better. I just wouldn't come off, you know, so cringy, you know, because like when you straddle Kelly, I mean, but I think, you know, that's just her personality. That's what she says. She only can be her, you know, and I understand that. But the interview and those comments, because the comment section was what got me, girl. I was watching the interview, but I'm in the comment section like, God damn, they talking about. I'm like, they don't like this girl like that for real. You know, I don't understand it. I don't know, because nobody's been called out but Shamea and Kelly and Pinky. And of course, K. Michelle. So, you know, K. Michelle a little bit delusional. She's very sensitive. But anytime that it has something to do with Shamea, everybody believes that, yeah, you know, yeah. Mm-hmm. She did it. She did it. She did it. My discernment says Shamea did it. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And he also asked her about the first episode where Porsha had invited Shamea to her dinner at her home. And Shamea, you know, they lied on TV because Gerald was never fucking going. And the only reason why Shamea went because it was an all-cast event and that was the first episode and all the cast had to be there. Shamea was invited to Porsha's home because Porsha had to invite her. This is production. Okay? So when the party for Gerald happened, Shamea wasn't inviting Porsha because they were in a weird space. They hadn't even spoke. The last time really talking, she said when she went to Porsha's house, let's back it up. When she went to Porsha's house, she didn't know what to expect when she walked in. And when Porsha gave her a hug, she was shocked. She just didn't know what she was walking into. Excuse me. So she was nervous about it. But again, Gerald didn't want her ass there. It's his party. So he didn't want Porsha there. He is friends with Dennis. So that's why Dennis was invited. And she said she, you know, would have probably invited Simon if Simon would have still been here and not detained by ICE and sent to another country. Deported. So, Shamesi could be messy. But I think all the women are messy. I think they all are. If everybody was straight laced and we didn't have shit to talk about, we say, "Oh, this is boring." So, it has to be, a little fire going on. So, it's got to be a little sparring. But I think when it does get a little bit too dark, and I don't know how this is going to go, because Shamea is on the platform that her ex-best friend is the face of. So me personally, if I was in Shamea's situation and she doesn't need the money, I think I would finish up the season. I think I would bow out. I don't see how they could actually still just coexist and we're all looking at them and not speak. Because it's different, had it been somebody, just a working relationship, hey, we're going to pretend for the cameras. But because there's a deep hurt there, I just don't see how it's going to, I would, she says she grieves the loss of the friendship. I feel like Shamea was more a friend to Porsha than Porsha was a friend to her. I feel like Shamea misses Porsha more than Porsha misses her. But Shamea, either you're going to step into the villain era or you're going to learn how to play the game. That's what I will say. Learn to play the game. Hey, cuss everybody motherfucking ass out, and then the next thing you move on past it, And she also talked about how, because her and Porsha are real friends for real, that, I was a lap dog. She was a golden retriever, honey. She was, or the pit bull. She was so used to being the role of the sidekick or the Robin to Porsha Batman that, she didn't really know how to navigate being, in the position that she was in, because she was still playing the role of the friend. And I was saying that last year. I'm like, damn, Shamea, what the fuck are you doing? We seen all this elegance and this abundant life that you have, and you still over here being the fucking sidekick when you the girl. You were supposed to be in the Galoo last year, but you were still playing the sidekick to Porsha, who had no house to show us. So she said it was hard for her, to kind of step into that role. And even at the reunion, she just didn't want to, I guess she didn't want to damage the friendship beyond repair. But Porsha didn't give a fuck. Porsha said, I kiss Candy in the club and you kiss Candy in the club. Bitch. And I'm home married right here? And you gonna say some shit like that? Because Porsha ain't got shit to lose. She ain't fucking married. So I think that's one reason why, they don't really, Shamea don't want to go too deep. But honey, when you're arguing with someone who ain't got nothing to lose, it can put you all the way out on what Porsha said on Front Street, what she said to Candy. I don't know. You just have to learn how to play the game, or either you have to bow out gracefully. Because I would have thought you would have bowed out last year when you did that whole apology tour. Don't never do that shit again. Ever. Go on YouTube. She talked about that. And Carlos said, don't ever do that shit again. I got so mad watching that last year. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Who told her to do this? Even Don Juan talked about it. Who told you to get up there and do that? I thought when she did that, they did all that damn praying. Because I just don't feel like Housewives and Holy Ghost, good evening, go together. I don't. So I was wondering, girl, you should have bowed out last year. She says how her husband is very supportive. He just don't want to be filmed. And she talked about last year before filming, she had just had an ectopic pregnancy, and her, I think her fallopian tube ruptured or something ruptured. You know, she was bleeding internally. So I don't believe she can carry a baby now. Oh, that's what I took out of there, you know. So also that she had 2 male embryos in place, implanted in her, but they didn't make it. Well, Carlos filmed him. Yes, he did. He did. But what I will say is that Gerald seems to be supportive. Shamea has the lifestyle that most housewives will want. She still can, you know, pretty much looks like from, you know, outside looking in, do what the fuck she want to do. You know, she gets go out there and show her body. She can show her body on TV in a damn thong bikini. Her husband ain't tripping. No, my husband, you know, would have a he would have a fucking fit. The fuck you doing in a thong bikini on TV? But she can do all those things, and he ain't tripping. Seems to be is the question. Yes. So I'm just saying that she seems to have the lifestyle, and they asked her, you know, basically, Carlos asked her, you know, about Drew morphing into Porsha. Porsha made the statement last year, and I got to find the clip, that Drew was trying to be her. When they was into it, when Porsha was saying that Drew was fucking for beats, and something about her doing something with go naked hair that she didn't have the authority to do. And voila, here we come this year. I could swear some of the, you know, I ain't have my glasses on, but I did have to do a double take on some of the pictures that Drew did, and thought, is that fucking Porsha? And now she got the body to match. It does seem like she's trying to be Porsha to me. And people say, well, you know, all the girls with the BBL got the same body or whatever. Her body is not like Porsha's, I will say that. But it does seem like she's taking on Porsha's style, the same hairstyle, the same makeup. But it said the hairline, Drew scheduled a photo shoot. Okay, that's what it was. But it seems like Drew used Porsha as a prototype. You know, this is what I want to look like. Give me this look. Give me this body. I said, you know, Drew's body looks nice. I will say that. It looks nice. The makeup looks good. You know, she's trying to dress better because, you know, these first seasons that the women be having, they be looking a mess to me, and Drew did. To be honest, a few ladies look like Porsha. You think K Michelle look like Porsha? Maybe in a couple pictures, but not really. Not to me. Drew, to me, was giving Porsha. K Michelle, I guess I really didn't know K Michelle in her earlier days. What I knew about K Michelle was her fake butt. That's what I knew. So I didn't ever watch Love and Hip Hop or anything like that. So I was surprised when I seen her before pictures. I was like, oh, okay. I remember people made a big deal about, I think a couple years ago, they thought that maybe she was bleaching. I don't know. But I was thinking that Porsha had said it, that Drew was trying to be her. And look like Drew is morphing into a Porsha. I guess maybe when she dropped she got a new CD or new single out, she's going to have the body to go with it. I think maybe she thinks that's going to advance her. People, you know, she's going to have that sex kitten look, you know, that Porsha gives off. that she could sell more records, or be in, maybe be, instead of being a little bit above an extra in the movie, maybe she'll have a main part. I guess I'm pretty sure it'll work out because Drew looks nice. So let me know. Do you think the fans are too hard on Shamea, or are they just holding her accountable? Do you think colorism could play a part? I really don't think so. I just think it's the A team versus the B team, and everybody loves Porsha, and everybody hates Shamea. That's what it is, I'm surprised Drew hadn't done more acting roles. My first introduction to Drew Sidora is on The Game. Drew Sidora was playing herself, and I kept saying, who the hell is Drew Sidora? I didn't know who she was. So it is what it is. I think Drew's biggest accomplishment is being on the Housewives. It's probably, where she make the bulk of her money. Shamea changed up when she got her peach last season. Well, she had to. She became the main character. She wasn't the sidekick anymore. But it didn't seem like Porsha was going through her own thing. She couldn't film in her house. So everybody was, Shamea got the house. Shamea this and that and the other. And Porsha wasn't getting that. She didn't have nowhere to film. They should have go over her mama's house and film. So, we seen this badass house that Shamea's in. You said you first saw her on the TLC movie. I don't watch Lifetime, so I didn't even watch the TLC movie. I don't. So, but it just seemed like, I'm not going to say Porsha was jealous of Shamea, but Porsha didn't like her situation and didn't like the fact that, hey, I'm really supposed to be the star of the show. And it started off the beginning of last year looking like Shamea was going to be the star until it just went way left. She couldn't get out of that sidekick role to me. She just couldn't. I don't know what the hell happened or why, but she started off strong and it went down quickly. Porsha was down last season. I think Shamea thought she could be the top peach. Well, Shamea had the lifestyle to be the top peach. I'm just being for real. When we're looking, she's probably looking at those other women and seeing, they seeing the behind scenes. They seeing how fake some of these people's lives are. We're seeing this season where Kelly was doing all that flossing last year, buying her daughter the 17 purses, and here her ass is broke this year. Not my kind of broke, but broke. Living in Shamea's townhouse, where everything was Beaumont and all these purses she was buying her daughter. So, with Shamea, what did she get for her birthday? Was it a Bentley? What kind of car was it? I think it was a Bentley. She started out strong. And it just seemed like when Porsha came to the scene, it just seemed like she wasn't happy for her. I would say that. It just seemed like, damn, here's my chance to really shine. And then Simon got me where I can't do shit. I can't show my goddamn house. So it is what it is. But Shamea, girl, they don't like you. Yes, and the dog had the spa treatment. I couldn't stand that ugly ass dog. When she said that dog was paying like $1,000 or something for the spa treatment, I'm like, and look at this shit here. And it still ain't adding up this year where this Jarvis is supposed to pay $75,000 for your teeth, but you're moving it, unless it's filmed out of order, but you didn't move into Shamea's townhouse. So, you know, we got Kelly being the charity case this episode. Even Phaedra was looking out. He said, but she was trying to form an alliance. Well, it definitely looked like the A-team to form an alliance. It's definitely looking like they're having dinners together. The group is definitely split. They're split, and it's A squad and B squad. That's what it is. I did like this last episode where everybody kind of united. We didn't have much back and forth. They did through a little bit of light shade, but I didn't like the fact that they're holding separate meetings. That's what it looks like. And so I really feel like the A squad, they're showing their alliance. The A, well, you know, the leftovers or whatever, but they are definitely showing us that they're actually having dinners together. Angela brought back this rumor, lie, or whatever about Shamea. And I feel like you bring back a rumor like that, no one, I mean, Porsha did get up and walk away, so she wouldn't be caught making any kind of faces or whatever, but it just seems like that right there, and not with any receipts, or unless we're gonna get some at the reunion. I thought that was a bridge too far. I really did. You know, but this season, I ain't feeling Angela. I am not. To me, she's two-faced. Because I'm the kind of, and people were talking about, oh, Kelly is in the confessional being a gangster, but her and Porsha had it out. She said that shit to Porsha's face. Angela, on the other hand, is sitting there having dinners with them and everything, but in the confessional, dogging Porsha ass the fuck out. Unless Charles was there, he ain't no fucking receipt. He an old ass man. I'm sorry. What these young dudes telling him? I don't even think so. So I just really don't. So unless he was there, and if he was there, he was doing something he had no business to be doing. So that's just like Porsha says she was the receipt. I don't believe that. I mean, I just wouldn't have carried unless, I mean, and then the thing of it is, even if Shamea did fuck whoever, what that got to do with your argument? Why do you take that to the ladies? What does this have to do with Angela being mad? And why? I mean, I don't understand why. That has nothing to do with anything. Because the person you should have been mad at and still mad at is Porsha for saying she would fuck your husband. That's who she should have been mad at. Because I would have never, she's still mad at it because she talks about it in the confessional. But Shamea, you know, it is what it is. You got the A squad and the B squad. They wouldn't like it Pinky when Pinky and Angela was going through it. But now since Pinky and Angela kind of moved past it, folks, you know, they seeing it for Pinky again. I don't know. All I'm saying is I like this season of Real Housewives. I do. I just hate that it's divided. But when people say, oh, Pinky needs to leave, oh, Kelly needs to leave, oh, Shamea needs to leave, if those three people left and K. Michelle, we wouldn't be talking about shit. But Porsha trying to make a decision if she want to be straight or gay. What the rest of them got going on that's entertaining? Nothing. Phaedra, nothing. She gonna do some. I could take Pinky before Shamea. I think all of the players need to be there. I like the same as what people would say, oh, I think Dr. Jackie needs to leave Married to Medicine because this or that and the other. But somebody has to be the same one. I feel like but I do feel that this Shamea and Porsha not talk about it, not, really getting it out the way. They just not saying nothing. I don't think that's going to work. I really don't. I don't think it's going to work. So with that being said, if they're not going to ever just have their power, well, they are going to have their power out. You like Phaedra sound bath? Love her house, but what is Phaedra telling us? We're not finding nothing out about Phaedra's life. Same thing she did over there in Married to Medicine. She gonna do some stunts, tricks, and that's it. We just getting the show. We're not getting nothing real from Phaedra about her life. We're not. That's not. I mean, I think Phaedra is witty. She's funny. But we're not getting, it's a reality show. We ain't getting her real reality at all. Not no parts of it. So yeah, the sound bath is would set it off, but that Reiki bullshit. Why, I'd rather see the her going down there doing some funerals or something. I don't know. But like I said, it takes all of them, because this cast to me has been way interesting than the last 4 seasons of Real Housewives. So I think they got the cast right. I just hate to see the divide like it is. I love that fact that all the women did come together for Angela last episode. I liked how they had the skating party and also the the women just having fun together. I don't feel like every scene they have that they just go out and then some kind of argument starts, because it's like, okay, who about to argue today? I like the little bit of shade. Yes, I like a little messiness, but god dang, we gotta almost be fighting almost at every scene. When are y'all gonna get along sometime? That's what so we know we got the big argument between Shamea and Porsha, I guess, coming up when they go on their trip to Scotland. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm happy with the cast. I'm happy with the show. It's been good to me. It's been really good to me. I love this episode. I like to see, how they kind of are, helping each other out, because like I said, Kelly is the charity case this episode, and Kelly is giving us real storyline. Bitch, I'm broke. And I'm not saying she's broke, but her business is not doing well. She spent a lot of money on this divorce, and so she loses one of the business. I heard her say on on some podcast or whatever, or talking with someone, I can't remember, that I think one of the business was pulling in $75,000 a month, and the other one that was struggling was only pulling in like 15. And when she's you got to pay all your employees and buy all your supplies, and wasn't looking good for her. So it's nice that Phaedra did something pro bono for her, and Shamea let her live in her townhouse. So that's good. The next, what's that's on the next episode? I thought that was on this episode that Phaedra let her saying that she had the meeting with Phaedra, and Phaedra said she was doing a pro bono. And this episode was also when Shamea let her move into her home. So the next episode is going to be what? I don't think I really watched the clips for this episode coming up yet. But yeah, the season has been very good. I've enjoyed every inch of it. It's been to me by far the best. It's way better than Potomac. You know, and I felt sorry for Angel on Potomac. At first, it was funny. Then it was when the girl started crying. I was like, she is not meant cut off for this. No, I meant the meeting with the the financial planner. Okay, that's what that was. Okay, that's where I must have saw it. Must have been on Instagram or something. The next episode, I couldn't remember. But yeah, I like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the season so far. But like again, Phaedra's gonna do the trader theme, her and Porsha. So we're gonna see how it kicks off there. But yeah, I thought the interview with Carlos King was informative. Some things I felt like, she explained a little better, and other things, she kind of skated around. We still not really getting what really happened between her and Porsha. She said she didn't feel like she had to bring that. I think Kay messed up Angel on Potomac. Yeah, I think so too. But Angel just wasn't cut out for the show at all. I don't think so. And when she went and cried to Giselle, I was mad as hell at her. Get your ass up out of here. How you gonna cry to the one who been talking shit about your ass? Why? I don't understand that. So yeah, I don't know why Kay did why she did that. Kay, I don't know, coming for Stacy. And Stacy ass lied the whole damn time. But she was so quirky that it worked out for her. But she was lying about half of that shit. People don't like Giselle, so Giselle has said that she was the last reunion before the season had started, that Stacy was going to have a cannabis line. And what we got. But yeah, Stacy to me she knew how to play the game. And Shamea, you better learn how to play the game or step into your villain era or whatever. Because girl, yeah, she was corny but likable. But they said she's bringing on a friend this year, or was trying to bring on a friend that was a Trumper. So I don't know how that's going to work out with them black women over there. I don't know. Some white lady. I don't know. But I feel like Real Housewives of Atlanta got the special sauce this season. And Lil Kelly made Porsha work. Shamea thinks she's the villain. I think she thinks she's the most. She's having a hard time dealing with people not liking her when she's everybody bestie. She said, "You're bestie. I'm everybody's bestie." She does a lot of hosting gigs, so she comes off likable, and she's having a hard time being being most hated. But girl, if this is not for you, then hang it up. That's what I would do. I would not, because like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with somebody who ain't got shit to lose. And if, like I said, you can't fight with som the situation that Porsha threw out there last reunion, saying I kiss Candy in the club, you kiss Candy in the club, and that shit wasn't true, and we playing like that, and I got a whole husband over here, you're not gonna fuck up my damn marriage over some bullshit on TV. You know what they say, friend, 2 hours a friend. Yes. But she's a people pleaser. But she better learn how to not please everybody. That's all I will say. You got the lifestyle. Like I said, when I watch these shows, I'm looking for some aspirational shit. I don't want to see nobody just living like me. Okay? That's why I was so through with when I just started watching Bell Collective, and when I seen Selena home, I said, "Oh, hold on." So I was like, "Oh shit!" So I watch the shows to see these ladies take, buy stuff that I cannot buy, go on trips that I gotta save forever to get to. I want to see all that lifestyle of the rich. I don't want to see a struggle bus. So, and what Shamea was giving, she ain't got no struggles over there other than, trying to have a baby. But as far as what we can see, the rich, lavish lifestyle, she has that. And she's married to a man that claims he loves her. That looks good for 64, because I didn't know he was that damn old. I thought he was the same age she was. I did. Or maybe just a little older, but I didn't think that much older than she was. So that's it. But thank you, Miss Deborah Rando. Thank you for dropping down in my comments. Did you see the report that? Yes, I saw that. Pinky. Why didn't you let your husband help you? I don't know. What is this? Thank you. Thank you for sitting up talking with me. Some of the other people that don't want to drop down, talk with me. It makes it easier. But, I trained for this. As a kid, I used to sit in the mirror and talk, and I'll pretend like I was Michael Jackson's little sister. So this is all I used to do when I was a kid. Be in the mirror, combing my hair, acting like I'm Michael Jackson's little sister named Marie. This is back here in 1983. So yes, my co-host that I used to go live with, Brandy, it's her birthday. So happy birthday, Brandy. And we're going to probably try, I know not tomorrow, maybe we just do 2 episodes next week. It's been a busy week. Maybe she can move with Shamea too. Oh, I'm pretty sure they probably got other homes. I would imagine. I hope so. Thank you. I would imagine, them rich people problems. I don't even know how that shit really worked. Because I seen the report, but I was like, I ain't never filed bankruptcy, so I don't know how that shit really worked at all. I'm trying to stay in my little house I got. So, I don't know. I think she's filing a Chapter 11. She probably is too rich to do a Chapter 7. I don't even know how that shit works. I ain't even gonna lie. So, even though I do taxes for a living, but I don't understand all that kind of stuff. So, my biggest worry is what Shamea said, is getting to Chick-fil-A before breakfast is over. That ain't my life, though. That ain't my life. My biggest worry is to try to pay my damn election bill. Shit. I'll be into the next parade. And the opening of Obama, yes. I'm going to, I wanted to try to go to, I'm in Indiana. So our church is going to go to the museum. I think the date they got set is in October. And I think you have to we're going to be doing a tour. So it's going to be a group of 20 and it's still going to run us like $600. And it's free for people who are from Illinois, but if you have to pay. So hopefully, I went to the museum in Washington, D.C. right after that had opened. Well, maybe it was almost a year after the fact, but we went down there with the Martin Luther King Club here and went to that one. That was really nice. I've been to the Freedom Museum in Cincinnati. That's nice too. So I'm looking forward to going to the Obama one. My little brother, he's in New York. He has a restaurant down there in Harlem. So I know they always stay packed. Lines around the corner. So I know they making all kind of money with this parade. No, isn't that the truth? So yeah, so I'm planning on, look, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do on Juneteenth, but I know I ain't working that day. So thank y'all for sitting up with me. It's 12 o'clock. My husband about to get off work. Thank you for sitting up with me, and let me know your thoughts on the Carlos King interview with Shamea. Did it change your mind about Shamea? New York is going to be, yeah, they're going to be lit. Or do you feel like his questions were too easy? Or do you feel like, is that really a hate train? Or, they're just holding her accountable? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you for your time. And again, this is Word on the Curve, where the T hits the pavement. Nope, still don't care for her. Okay. Okay then. And with that being said, good night.